Hello, everyone. This is David Liebowitz with Philosophispiel Video Game Philosophy, and apparently this is Chloe Eve's first ever interview, especially about Rukkhadevata. So great to have you here.
Thank you! I'm so excited, honestly.
I'm excited to have you. This is going to be a magical night.
Yes.
A magical night with a magical god. Who never
Ah,
existed, who never ever existed ever.
who?
um, who? Who? Who?
Who?
Who? Who? Who? Who? Who?
Honestly, like, I'm actually just so excited to actually speak about her and, like, not just her, like, Hypatia as well and all, because, like, I haven't really had a chance to speak about them as characters and their meanings and stuff, and it's something I've always wanted to do because, like, they are so interesting. So, yes, thank you for having me.
I'm this scene, like, I don't know if it actually changed my life, but it's submitted Genshin as no, this game is based as all hell. This game is amazing. It's all, and this might be the best line of all time. Like I was talking to my friends at Thanksgiving, with my cousins at Thanksgiving, and they were like, "You should get all dreams, dreams." The line Rukkhadevata's line tattooed. I'm like, I don't do tattoos, but like, no, you should really get it tattooed because you love that line so much.
Oh my gosh. It was, as I say, like, it was one of those that I never expected. And like, so whenever it was like going through recording each of it was just as much an adventure for me as it was for like the players and stuff like that. So seeing how it all unfolded and all like that, I was seeing it too because like we would record in patches. So like we'd record 3.0, 3.1, and then eventually 3.2. So like I was just wondering and watching like 3.1, like, where's Rukkhadevata? Where is she?
So
Everyone's
you so
talking
you
about
knew
her.
you were cast as her.
Yeah, so I'd recorded for her for 3.0.
Right, there's that one voice where she says like, "World, forget me," right? That's
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
that's you.
that's me.
Okay. But then you're like, "What's next?"
Exactly. Because they're like, how do I put it? So I
They
hadn't
don't-
played.
they had the book closed on everyone, it seems.
Yeah, like as a voice actor, you usually only know as much as your character is doing at that point. They might go into a little bit of like lore about the setting or something like that, or a little bit about what the game's about and all like that. But beyond that, they don't tell you like, oh, this is what's going to happen, then this and this and this. They'll just tell you what's really relevant to you. So
Yeah,
it's so
especially
interesting.
for an NPC character, obviously you have less of
Mm-hmm.
the information, but you also have more of the information because you are the lore dump characters, as you told me over text.
Yeah,
You
my
have less
director
and
turned around and
more.
went like, "Did we really just give you two heavy lore dump characters?" And I was like, "Yes, you did. Yes, you did."
Well, let's play one of the first lore dump, and because especially we're gonna play the just the cutscene. We're not gonna do the full 11 minutes, but
It's all good.
we're gonna Vada, but we just need to take it in again. We just need to take it in. But let's talk about Hypatia verse because I think she really sets up the whole predicament that really is the
Mhm.
character that I think starts bringing the intrigue about what's going to happen in this whole story because you're
Yes.
just walking around with this fort with Tainari, Zach Gordon, great, but but he doesn't tell you much. We're just like cleaning the forest. That's about it. But like, what else is there? Why? Oh, then we go into this dream, and then oh, now Hypatia is going to say something interesting. And as a philosopher, I found interesting. Other people might have not, but I did. So, so let's play it.
Research is the stars and their connection to the fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie in the starry skies. Which is why I must turn to the all-knowing Irminsul for answers. If only my perception wasn't so limited. Unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Pronunciation. This is the ultimate question for when you're dealing with Sanskrit.
Mhm.
How did they just tell you how to say it? And like, I'm guessing it's
Yeah.
especially I'm guessing it's wrong, but they told you how to say it.
Yeah, no, 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 like definitely. So like Sometimes if I'll see a word and I don't recognize it, no, like that, I try to be as respectful as I can, and so does the game. Like the directors and like all the other actors, everyone tries to be as respectful to like the native language or the native pronunciation as much as possible. So like for like example, Satyavada Life, I remember looking at that like, because like the thing is like I'm very good at like kind of like picking up on how like the Japanese will pronounce things, somewhat a little bit of Chinese, but not. I wouldn't be as well versed. Like, but then, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in Genshin. This is something gonna be like so cool. And then like I was given this script, and I'm like, I was pretty sure it was like somewhat Japanese, but huh, or like Chinese, or but I
We
was like,
skipped you were already past the Japanese era.
yeah, I was, and like I was looking at this script, like these names and all like that. Like, I was like, I was like, Haypasia? What was her name? And it was like I got in, they're like Hypatia, and I'm like, okay, okay.
They just wanted to make Hypatia apparently was like a Greek academic, and they just wanted to make the name sound
hmm
more exotic. Have you heard about this before? That's like she's a
I have.
she's
Do you
a
know what? My friend is an archaeological geophysicist, so he's all like history buff and stuff. So like I remember whenever I was eventually like when this came out and I showed him, he was like, "Oh my god, that name!" And I'm like, "What about it?" I didn't understand, and like he was explaining to me like the historical meanings, like where it ties from and everything, and its meaning, and I was like, "Oh wow!" So it was like so cool.
yeah. Rukkhadevata just means from what I know tree deity. I think in like in
Yeah, like God of the Leaves or something like that, or God of the
Y-
Trees or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not taken from any specific Hindu or
hmm
Buddhist character, but they want to be. Nahida actually is Nahida is a Persian goddess. I forget of what. I think of beauty, and that's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
It would make sense though, because like she is
She,
such a pretty like her and the Rukkhadevata designs were like well generally like a lot of the designs from this from Sumeru it was like really beautiful. I noticed. I was like, oh, I love this. Like the music, the character designs, the clothing, and all like that. I was just like immersed in it all. I was like, please, I love this.
all right, let's continue to the actual. We haven't gone to the dump yet.
The stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains divine
Here's the dump.
knowledge, and touching
Yep.
such knowledge without the proper preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself. That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
I have a question for you. Do you practice
Yes.
mindfulness? Do you practice mindfulness? I guess this is a question.
I'm one of those that I'm very hard to get me to sit down long enough to do mindfulness, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like if I'm not working, which I work a lot, because like I'm one of those I love to be busy. I'm usually like gaming or something or playing with my dog or reading, like probably reading is the closest thing to mindfulness, I guess,
It's
but
there's some mindfulness to reading, I'd say.
there's
I
a
mean,
little
it's
bit. But no, like otherwise it's usually I'm a very busybody, so but yes.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Aren't you afraid of the risks, Hypatia?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of insects. However, I've been feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. I believe that being able to see them is a sort of blessing from the Dendro Archon. But what's strangest of all is that they're clearly an envoy of the God of Wisdom herself, and they have the curious power to make people dream.
What's so strange about that? It doesn't sound so out of place for a divine being, does it?
Well, it's strange because nearly nobody in Sumeru can ever dream.
Oh, is that true?
Yes, well, to an extent. Only children can dream in Sumeru. Adults, however, never do. The sages say that wisdom implies rationality, but that which occurs in dreams is often neither rational nor logical. Yes, if one struggles with anxieties, those emotions could influence their dreams.
So what do you have to say about that? Or shall I give the lead in? You want me to
Yeah,
give
I'll
the
let
lead in, or
you
do you have
give the
something?
lead in because
Okay, here.
there's a lot to unpack there. Because I think now is the time that I actually get to sit down and start to actually intake. Because like until now, it's always been, oh, did I do all right in my performance? Did I hopefully not mess it up too much or make it too
You're
confusing or
great.
anything?
You were
So
great. You were
yeah, but
great.
like now is like the first time I've really had a chance to kind of sit down and like fully ingest what I was saying. You know?
Yes, yes, yes. But okay. I do briefly do hear myself a little bit. Um, um. All right. Well, good. Now I can hear. Can you still hear me though?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Perfect. Perfect.
I'm just
Perfect.
half deaf half the time.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. So I as an academic, because that is what I am outside of being also an aspiring voice actor, um, think that this is a very interesting dynamic that's going on that fully gets resolved with your other main character, Rukkhadevata,
hmm
because this is saying, the sages say dreams are irrational, but obviously they're not. Hypatia's still under not sure about what to think, but she herself is still trying to dream, even if
hmm
it's quote unquote irrational. But then there's the big part: only children can dream, and
hmm
that gets followed up very much with later knowledge that it's generally only children that can see Aranara. So
Yeah.
so it's a thing that I love to talk about: the inner child. So
Yes.
what do you have to say about that?
You know what? It feels like a bit like a lot of, how do I put this? It's like a lot of fairy tales and all like that you'd hear like, so I'm originally from Ireland. I grew up in Ireland. So Ireland would be very traditional and stuff. So we have like there's always like little like lore and all going around there. And it just feels a lot like the fairies
Tir na
kind of
nog?
thing, you know?
Talking about Tir na nog?
Yeah, well, that's one. That's one. Trust me, there's a lot. But the thing is that like you notice that like there's always the tales of fairy tales and stuff like that. So I love that there's like it's showing that kind of like coming over in a sense. Like it's a different belief, but very similar in a sense. Does that make sense?
No, yeah, no, it makes. I mean, these are all tree fairies. I mean, the are
Yeah.
tree fairies. Rukkhadevata is in a sense, I mean, designed to be fairy-like. I mean, Nahida's.
Yeah, very
Actually,
much so.
I will say this. Actually, the namesake for Kusanali is a little bit deeper than Rukkhadevata. Not to say that you got something short, the short end of the
Oh
stick, but
gosh, no.
but Kusanali's there's actually there's tales of the Buddha of his Buddha's past lives, and one of his past lives was a tree spirit, and there was a story of like an architect trying to cut down the tree, and then something intervenes, something about becoming a chameleon or something that stops the tree from being cut down, which
Mhm.
sort of has a possible connection to Irminsul, and maybe
Yes.
also, yeah. So but just the idea that a tree fairy in general makes sense, and then we've already broken down Nahida's no, human name, you could say.
Yeah.
Um, and then Boar, scary demon. Scary demon.
All right, Booer. Sick 'em.
Hello, Sickums. I don't think we need to get up what Boar looks. Oh god, scary. But that's the common name. They all the truest god names are demons because
Mhm.
gods are because again they're archons. They're not actually because they're not truly close to divinity because they're the false gods in a way. But
Yes.
it's an interesting thing because you have Rukkhadevata, who's the purest thing ever, where you feel like it's sort of like the false gods are actually the good ones and maybe the true god is the bad one.
Yeah, like it's kind of an interesting because then you've got like another one who Hypatia is very closely tied in with is you then have Scaramouche come into the picture and it's like it's
He's the falsest
taking
of gods.
exactly. So it's interesting because like you've got like so many different angles in this story. So you've got like the angle of Doctore, like or the doctor, who is like he wants to just own it, or he wants to like kind of tear it down in a sense. You've got Scaramouche who wants to become it. I guess is the best way I could
Yes, I mean
probably
he
word
wants to
it.
become God. I mean he wants to become God because he's so
Exactly.
emo. He hates the world. One of his lines when you fight him literally is "Reality is pain." He's that
I
emo.
mean,
Like,
like
like-
you get to know his story because of, ironically, Hypatia. She becomes like a big old crux to reveal most of his lore. And whenever I found that out, I squealed in the session a bit.
you do get to learn more of it. It said more concretely in the interlude quest, but yes, you
Yes.
all you really need to know is from that cutscene with Hypatia.
Yes. Like, I remember whenever they were like, oh, so like I done the ready, and then like my director just goes, all right, now we're gonna do a cutscene. We're gonna show a cutscene of Scaramouche's backstory, and I'm like, wait, what? What? So I just freaked out a little bit, and then
They
they
showed
were
it.
like,
They showed it to you, or
no, they couldn't show it to me because they just didn't have it on hand. Because initially, though, what they wanted me to do was to try and mimic one of the ways he said a line, but we couldn't find the file, so I just didn't get to see it till everybody else did.
you
And I got-
sounded creepy as hell. I mean, it was
yeah,
all,
the,
it was all
like,
good. It was all
yeah,
good.
like the mortal one. I was like, okay, I love it. I love voicing like something a little creepy, so
I
it's
mean,
fun, you know.
for a second, but yeah, it was that there's an interesting twist with her. Like, oh yeah, I'm actually I'm the first prophet of this false god. Yay!
Yeah, bless her. She thinks it's the real god, and then it's like, no.
Yeah, but I guess back to the actual line itself
Yes.
about what do you think? What is your attachment with the notion of the inner child? I mean, especially as actors, this is something that Richard Horvitz has taught me about playfulness and
Yes.
about acting as just playing and playing pretend to this fullest.
Exactly. Like, honestly, you'll find that a lot of actors, a lot of us are very passionate. And I think it's just because we get to do, as you say, we get to play. We get to kind of take a step out of our own shoes and become another character for a bit and like have a bit of fun with it. I love everything about like what I do it for, and all like that. I get very immersed into it because it's just it's like the dream for me. I'm living my dream, and like, so ironically, talking about dreams, uh, it's like I don't know. Like, I think a part of me is always like, well, do we ever actually grow up? You know, because like I dream like a bit personal here, but I dream all the time. I love dreaming. So
Me
like
too.
my
I dream a lot too. Yeah.
yeah, like my dreams are a bit weird because they're all over the place. Like one minute I'm here, and then the second I'm there, and I'm like, "Oh, what happened there?" But still, I always love dreaming because it feels like to me that my imagination is still just as active as it was when I was a child. So
Exactly.
yeah, and so that I feel part of that helps me step into a new world, a new character, a new like scenario, and it really helps, because you're just playing imaginary in a sense. So
And here's the funny thing, because I did a there's the connection between because they have this connection, the god of wisdom and with
Mhm.
nature. And there's I mean is the line they talk about wisdom grows like a tree, but there's something interesting about not necessarily wisdom itself, but about play, especially with.
Mhm.
I think this gets shown also with another character from the Chinese region, Yao Yao, about who is this little girl who comes. She's voiced by Kelsey Jaffer, who
Yes.
who sees all these magical beings where no one else wants to see them, and that's the same concept with the Aranara, and especially a quest with Ionia, and also just the Aranara unvoiced world quest, where you about how these magical beings that go into these that apparently trees dream too. And they flow like a river. It's just all such profound stuff that I loved it.
Yeah.
But playfulness in a way, I did a thesis on this actually that said
Mhm.
that playfulness that I wasn't able to find anything concrete, but I at least hypothesized that being playful can connect us to nature.
Honestly, I don't know. It just it really comes down to the eye of the beholder. I think that one.
Well, I've been able to
I,
find
I, I
anything
don't know.
concrete.
It's such a profound thing, but like it's like everything living can probably dream, you know? So like
And many things living can play.
exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, no, It's interesting because like a lot of these things are not things I would typically think about, but it's like it's interesting to to kind of like inspire the mind to think on, if that makes sense.
Well, we're a philosophical YouTube
There we
podcast and YouTube
go.
channel, so I felt like I could have anyone since you're dealing with the most profound stuff, we get you for a little bit of a ride mentally. You could just say, "Hey, I don't know." It's fine.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I try.
Let me.
It's like I'm always so open to learning as well. I think that's one thing. I love to learn. So,
And that there I guess there is the thing about a thing I don't think that we need to show, but like or maybe how about let me play this and then I think we'll go to the big scene that you've already seen refresh yourself on,
yeah, let's
but
go
The
for it.
fact that the people of Sumeru do not have dreams is
this
seen
is
as
this
a
is it.
blessing by the sages. They believe that Greater Lord Rukkadevata, the god of wisdom, is keeping us away from the foolish delusions you encounter in your sleep.
How they're so wrong.
Yes and no, but it's kind of funny, isn't it? Because it's like
I mean,
so
Rukkhadevata says. I mean, this was all I want. Like it's like she's like dreaming is so beautiful, but I had to stop it for 500 years.
yeah, that's it. That's it. It's like it's so interesting though because like obviously um this is from the perspective of a devout believer. So they're like, "Oh, they're keeping us away from foolish delusions, you know? Like they're keeping us away from the bad stuff." But not necessarily. It was just a kind of catalyst of what happened.
What happened to like prevent the forbidden knowledge? It's just one would always think, as well as one would always think about what happens with Rukkhadevata in the end. Could there have been another way? But this is what happened, and it's sad. It's what happened. So I guess we should get there, and then we can talk about ChatGPT. You'll see. I think you get what I mean by ChatGPT before we go into this. What
Uh, just a little bit of perspective on what you're just, how so?
the Akasha
Ah, yes.
is.
Yes.
And I mean I think Genshin Impact predicted ChatGPT. So I but let's do this.
We all nestle under the great tree of wisdom, peering out to perceive the world. From the earth and from the rain, we perceive its wonders, until we become a white bird to perch atop a branch, and finally snap off the most important leaf. Once upon a time, I alone dreamed in this world. In my dreams, everybody would also dream after they fell asleep. Wild and wonderful thoughts would emerge from their minds. Some tumbled to the ground, and others floated to the sky, connecting all things in the world into one dazzling net. Among a plethora of worlds were numerous smaller worlds, all of fate, finding within the tapestry their brilliant glow. I gradually understood that these indescribable and constantly changing things are the most profound things in the world. Only they can completely repel the madness. Only dreams can awaken consciousness from the deepest darkness.
And someone and my cousin want me to tattoo that on me. But it's
It-
so profound. It's the most profound thing ever.
yeah, no, definitely. Like part of me loves the a part of me geeks out over the like how do I put it? It's like it started out with an embrace and then it's ending with an embrace as well. It's like, oh, sorry, that part always geeks
Yeah,
me out.
yeah, right. Rukkhadevata hugs Nahida, and then Nahida attempts to hug her while she
Well, not just that,
disappears.
like it shows the moment where she created Nahida as well. So it's like it shows her embracing that little branch of Irminsul, so it would become Nahida. And now for the end of Rukkhadevata, it is Nahida embracing Rukkhadevata to help her, like, kind of to eradicate her from Irminsul. So it's like,
Irminsul is. Oh, no, you can do.
no, please continue.
I mean, so Irminsul's actually a little closer to your culture. It's not. I think it might have been in Ireland, but it's Norse. Have you? I mean, it's they were just like trees that the British came, and then the like tree statue like shrines, and then the British just
Mm-hmm.
cut them down because die ye pagans. that it's an interesting choice. I don't know why
Yeah.
they didn't just call it Yggdrasil. I mean, it's basically Yggdrasil, but they decided to do some random tree shrine. But yeah, there's that a little closer to your culture.
Yeah, like it's so interesting though, but it's like, oh, like it's essentially like, oh, Irminsul is the save card, like the memory card of the world, and if you eradicate a little bit from it, it's gone forever. And it's just like, oh, it's such an interesting concept. Like obviously it's being done through like legend and through history and all like that. It's being theorized and hypothesized and everything. So the fact that like they've kind of brought this in and made this like the core of like, okay, this world revolves around Irminsul, and anything that is to be remembered will be stored in Irminsul, but if it's not there, you're not going to get it, you know?
It will never happen, which happens
Exactly.
again. It actually does happen again with Scaramouche. He pulls a No Way Home, and but that doesn't actually mean anything. He's like, oh no, Nahida, you're getting your memories right back. It's okay. Everyone else will forget you, but you're not gonna forget yourself. Sorry.
I
Stay emo,
admittedly
my
haven't
friend. Stay emo.
I admittedly haven't seen that. So like does Nahida eventually remember Rukkhadevata?
No.
Okay,
That's
that's what
it's the
that,
interesting thing. It's like Rukkhadevata put something in Nahida's mind. If someone else were to abuse this system, you are. I mean, it's not explained, but it's like
oh, was this
if
the
someone else were to abuse this system, then you are gonna put a fairy tale in their mind that's basically their backstory. And I mean, I could play it. We have the time,
do you know
but
what? Do you know what? I think is this the part where you see a little bit of Rukkhadevata, but it's like white noise?
don't know. I don't know if
No?
you actually hear her. I
No,
don't know if you.
you don't, but
I
like so
I actually do think you do. I actually do think you do. Now I think about it.
no, because the reason I ask is because I remember way back at the start of 2023, I was brought in for a session because they're like, more Rukkhadevata for you. And I'm like, what?
This
She's
was after she was
gone.
blipped. This was after she was blipped,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, okay.
Yep. So like I was like, oh what? She's gone.
Then
What? So they
then
brought
I'm
me in
guessing
and
this was.
we seen this cutscene and then they were like, wait, oh it's only white noise. It's not actually for you. And I'm like, no. So I didn't get to see what came of that because like I was like, huh?
Yeah, that would make sense. It's related. It's either I mean, it's either. I would think that makes the most sense. That would be there. There. It might
Yeah.
have been. I mean, Nahida does have 2 follow-up quests as well, but I don't remember. I mean, Nahida forgetting Rukkhadevata is a very important thing. Like, it's used
Yes.
by the villain to say, you haven't lost anyone, and Nahida's like, I haven't lost anyone, but I secretly have. But I don't know that I've lost.
Yeah.
It's like she's still functioning under the like muscle memory that she forgot someone, but she doesn't know in her mind that she forgot someone.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, honestly. It's like, oh, I remember my heart broke because like so I haven't played to Sumeru yet, but I have watched people play. And seeing like, like whenever the traveler would have been running through like Sumeru and all like that, like the main city and all like that, you'd have people talking and before Rukkhadevata vanish, you would have had them going like Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, and then it was just and like maybe some like Lesser Lord Kustanali and all, and then suddenly it was just all like no Rukkhadevata at all, and I was like,
It's replaced with
wow,
just Dendro Archon. It's
Dendro
replaced.
Archon or oh, it's all Lesser Lord Kusanali and all like that, and it's like so interesting, so
And
interesting.
that's the funny thing. We should finish this, but I do want to. You haven't seen the scene with Azar, and like that actually gets to the heart of maybe there was an actual reason philosophically, as much as it hurts, why Rukkhadevata had to be forgotten on a
yeah,
more
no,
meta level.
absolutely.
What's your thought?
Well, to be honest, the encounter you have with her kind of explains a lot of it as it is. And like the paradox and all like that.
I mean, it explains it. It explains what has to happen, but on a meta level, why did it have to? It's like, okay, we wrote ourselves in that Rukkhadevata is poisoned and the world's gonna go to hell if she doesn't get forgotten. But like, all because this is a no way home situation doesn't mean it's just a no way home situation. There's something more to it, and I think there's a little bit deeper to that actually. About what I would say is, it
I
seems
think
like
a lot of it also comes from her compassion and the fear of losing. Like again, this is my opinion, so don't take
or,
this as like lore. Uh, but it feels like it's a lot of her passion and her love for Sumeru, her love for the world, for Irminsul, for Kusanali, that is really drives her to make that ultimate decision. So it's like it feels like she ran out of time to me, of anything.
yeah, she ran out of time. There's how about we? I mean, do we want? I guess we should finish. We should actually finish this thought, and then we'll get back to this before we talk about ChatGPT, because that's a much because I have a lot to say. But I think especially now we can start ranting about. Though you're British, so you're not. Are you beholden to Sag? We'll get there. We can start ranting about
Yes,
Sag
we are
Aftra.
using
Um,
human wisdom to create a god. If humanity cannot attain omniscience and omnipotence, then we shall create a god to reveal them. This is the pinnacle of human wisdom. We shall regain a god's guidance at long last. No longer will we flounder in the interminable void of consciousness and knowledge. Even Irminsul will be freed from its plight. For our nation of scholars, this is the ultimate aspiration. No cost is too great to realize. You will never understand the rapture of having a god be born within your very hands. With your degree of knowledge, you cannot even comprehend such an emotion. Gods exist on a plane that far eclipses humanity's. Lesser Lord Kusanali, what can she even do? Care for the people? Fend off sandstorms? Fabricate silly fairy tales? These are but child's play for the academia. Does that make us equal to the gods? We are a people favored by greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Though I may have personally not seen it, our forefathers bore witness to true wisdom. The ascension of the Lesser Lord has brought nothing but bewilderment to the scholars. They all ask, is that truly what true wisdom is supposed to look like?
yes, that is what true wisdom is supposed to look like. Okay. Do you have anything to say before I give my meta answer on
Go
my
for
meta?
it.
Here's my meta
I'm
answer. My meta answer is this guy. Everyone has gone so just yes, like too high rationality that even the memory of Rukkhadevata has been corrupted. Like we see, obviously, she is beautiful. She's caring. She completely disagree with every. Well, you can give me your thought if she would actually completely disagree. But I would think like the spirit of what she says in that final monologue is very much dreams are good. Irrationality is good. The sage is saying no, as Hypatia says earlier, rationality is good. No time for play, no time to be a child. And it's like, oh, we are Rukkhadevata. Rukkhadevata supports this. God bless, as he said, God blessed, as Hypatia says, God blessed us to be rational and not have dreams. And so it's in a sense, Rukkhadevata knows she probably played it all along. Like people are going to are. It's sort of like she became not the villain. I mean, because in the eyes she's not seen as the
yes.
villain, but she kind of in meta wise intentionally became the villain to be thwarted.
Yes, it was kind of that weird, like, she's the villain of the sense of, how do I put it? It
I mean,
felt like,
she had to do what she had to do, but she created a thing that had to be stopped.
I think the best way to put it is her intention got corrupted.
So that's
Like
what I'm saying. The
yeah,
memory.
yeah. The memory and like the intention she had and all like that. Because obviously she's the one that created Kusanali. So I find it so weird that they just completely neglected that, you know?
Exactly.
Like, who is Kusanali? The one that Rukkhadevata created to take over.
And I mean, people know she was at least or born by like she's obviously her child, but
Yeah.
there's a knowledge that they say, oh, when she came out, when Nahida came out, she acted just like a normal child. That was it. She did not. There's nothing godly about her, which is why the sages immediately said, oh, throwing you in the trash. We're making a robot god now. Okay, they didn't immediately say we're making a robot
Yeah.
god. But then the Tory's like, we're making a robot god.
It felt like a lot of it kind of felt like that angle of they wanted perfection,
Mhm.
but if it wasn't their ideal of perfection, then they didn't want to know. So they would go and create their ideal of perfection. But as you say, they don't allow children to be children. So, how are they supposed to grow up if you're going to neglect them? Like, it's no wonder in a sense that Kusanali, she is the way she is. Like her whole style, for example, when you're playing as her and all, like she's on a swing. She's a child.
She's
You
playing
know?
hopscotch. She's playing. She fights by playing
Exactly.
hopscotch.
Yeah, exactly. So like, sometimes I think one of the nicest ideals of this is like a good true knowledge is the unbiased, innocent opinion and thoughts of a child.
Exactly. This is exactly what my Chinese friend, when I brought him in, who absolutely loves Nahida, and he was so happy when I told him that I got you to be here. So he'll probably be watching this eventually. At least
Oh.
he's busy. But yeah. I have a friend from China who hasn't played Genshin, and I have him react to all this stuff to get his opinion on his stuff. And he fell in love with Nahida. It's like no, he prefers Sumeru to the Chinese region. So that's how much
Yeah.
he loves Nahida, and loves everything about that, and absolutely adores. And I've shown a few, like any spiritual type I run into, immediately show them the Nahida scene, the Nahida Rukkhadevata scene, because any spiritual, all the hippies are gonna love it. All the hippies are gonna
All the hippies in the house, let's go.
all the hippies in the house. But I guess, yeah. So does that sort of give, like, you see that maybe if it's not, even it's not lore wise, that Rukkhadevata had to be forgotten because people could not physically go on until they accepted the child. And it's better if, yes, you could accept the child and reinvigorate the mother. But I guess in this case, it's a little pessimistic. No, the mother completely has to be forgotten, and we can only
Yeah,
know the
the
child.
mother, it is like that. Again, we'll use the word paradox. The mother, the world will not progress if the mother still exists.
Yeah,
If Rukkhadevata still exists, it won't proceed because right now they're wrapping themselves up in the past and their perception of what she was and what she stood for,
which is
rather than
false. Which obviously false.
yeah.
Yeah,
But they believe it enough to believe it true, So that's
exactly.
what they're going on about. So like they're how do I put this? They're working so English. My brain's just kind of it was going somewhere and it's just stopped.
And it's from the motherland.
And from the motherland. But no, like there's no. It's so interesting, but it's literally this was probably the best and most
Healthy.
healthy and
I don't know if it's okay. I don't know if
quick.
it's healthy. Like, there is a
Like
world in which Rukkhadevata could have stayed, and people could realize, oh, Kusanali, you're the rightful heir. But like,
there would have
they,
always been that like here's I think there was the issue with that of there would always hold that comparison of like Nahida to Rukkhadevata
yeah,
because obviously Rukkhadevata had like thousands of years or I'm not sure how old
we don't
Rukkhadevata
even. Yeah,
was, but
at
like she
least
had a
probably 2000,
long time to
2000,
it.
at least
Yeah,
2000.
she had like a long time to establish herself to do so much good. She was the one that essentially helped establish Irminsul in a sense, if I'm correct.
I, I, I at least this makes more sense than what happened in Fontaine. That was when I get someone
I
I'm
have
from
admittedly
Fontaine.
not seen it.
Yeah, the interesting thing they did with Brit France.
Yeah,
Brit
I really wanted to be involved in that one because I was
Brit
like,
France. Brit
I'm,
France.
I'm, I'm like, because I'm dual nationality. I'm British and Irish, so like, I would have loved to have been involved in that, but it just didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's interesting because like the guy, like I've seen the memes that come from it. The
Or a
like
trace
some
mechanique, did you see the orca trace?
or a trace mécanique
Mechanique
d'analyse
canonique.
cardinal.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the fundamental. What the hell happened with that? And there's something that very similar happens in
Mhm.
Fontaine that happens in Sumeru.
I
Um,
did
uh,
notice that. I seen that it was like, oh, there was someone who was playing as Farina, but it wasn't
Farina,
Farina.
Farina is playing as someone else. Well,
Yes,
she's playing.
that's it.
Okay. Spoilers. For Fontaine. Um. Yeah. No. Yeah, this is another big concept because basically we've seen this 3 times. This wonderful concept we like to call, not even, it's correct, the death of God.
Mhm.
It happens. I mean, for Rukkhadevata, it's a double death. She's already offed. She just offs herself
Again.
eternally. Again, she offs herself again. I mean, Zhong Li, the Chinese guy, he fakes his death, so he's not actually
Yes.
dead, but everyone thinks he's dead. And then Focalor kills herself.
And
So
then
people
technically,
remember
couldn't you
who she was.
say 4 if you include A?
Yeah, you know, Makoto.
Yeah, I know.
You, yeah, no, it's so 3 on screen, 4 off screen.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
And then
the
don't even
only one
start with
saved is
Venti's
Venti.
friend.
Venti's friend. Yes, okay, Venti's. So, well, death, but like the fact that it's central to people moving forward, though, I think
Yes.
happens more because the death of Makoto actually stops progress
Yes.
in Inazuma, as opposed to Zhongli's like, oh, China needs to move forward because we don't believe in God anymore for real historical reasons that we won't get into. The real historical and also fantasy things. Yeah, I mean, there's a death of God in France, a death and now a forgetting of God. But the most interesting thing about Sumeru that makes it the most pro God. I think Sumeru, Fontaine is pro. Fontaine is weird where it is. Like, it's not anti-God, but it's not. It's more. Well, the god is seen as good, at least. The god's,
Yeah.
but she's seen as good. But Sumeru really, because I mean, Rukkhadevata and Nahida are the most purest things ever. Egeria and Focalor, they're pure too, but like really pure. And then Venti is Venti. Venti is Venti. But like because it's a very niche Jungian pair. I guess what I love about this is I follow the psychology of Carl Jung, who I mean, why I love it so much because Carl Jung would agree 100,000,000% with the sentiment. Only dreams can awaken consciousness for the deepest darkness. Because how do we individuate as people? We look and we interpret our dreams, and that's
Yes.
what what Hypatia wanted to do. She wanted to find wisdom through dreams, which is not necessarily only Jungian. But it actually is kind of. I asked a Hindu friend from India. He actually said the Hindu, according to the belief that they're playing with, at least in the tradition he's from, but it seems like he had a more wide. But dreams are not seen as forms of wisdom, though visions are. So I
Right.
don't. Was Hypatia really wanting a dream, or was she wanting a vision? I think she was wanting. She said a dream.
That
Or
that's hard to that you know what? That's hard to I don't know. I don't know. Because like
like
sometimes
for her, it would really be a vision because she can't dream. It's I would well the statement only dreams are woke and based that's apparently at least for some Hindus that's not I for the
I
but
think she saw I think somewhat she saw dreams as a gateway or a way to talk with the gods.
yes, which
I
is
think
very Jungian.
yeah, she saw it as that way. So like she was like, "Oh, I guess only children could talk to the gods." But I'm seeing these Aranara and I'm having dreams, so that must mean I'm closer to God. So that would probably just fuel her further, you know?
Exactly. And she wanted to research the stars, which we didn't
Mhm.
learn. We don't know what else if
They kind of,
she ever
yeah,
learned
they kind
she ever
of like
learned
went
about them.
like, yeah, they were like the retard when the stars shone, and it's like,
Plot device. She's a plot device. That's what she got to be.
what do you
Yeah.
mean? It's not like she's used to channel Scaramouche. She's not a plot device.
No, Rukkhadevata actually is also just a plot device, but they're both beautiful plot devices.
I know for a fact that if I was ever asked to come back for either Rukkhadevata or Hypatia or any of those, I would be back in a heartbeat. I would, because genuinely, I loved, uh, like being part of their story.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. Like if it was ever, yeah. But no,
If we ever got to know, I think at least more about Hypatia, because I feel like that would be the more makes sense based on what's
yeah,
happening.
they just
The exciting
essentially
things.
sent her to sleep and that was it. You know.
I mean, she woke. Oh yeah,
She woke up, but like then if you follow afterwards, that was when Scaramouche was really like you if I remember right, it was after that she never really came back. And I was like, huh.
all right.
Posed this question, yet
ChatGPT.
also the one who sought a solution. Saving the world with the dreams of the people used to be my answer.
Used to be my
Yes.
answer. So how do you interpret that? So was she wrong, or was she? No, she was right.
So this was very much so the case of she took the dreams to use them as a way to save the people. So it was how do I put it? Like I know
And
what
make
she's
ChatGPT and or did she she made the Akasha, right? She made it.
yeah,
So
yeah.
she made ChatGPT. Okay.
Yeah, she made the Akasha as a way to kind of collect the dreams and use them to save the people, you
Mhm.
know? Save them from the corruption. Like, she thought that they were the key to stopping the corruption of Irminsul.
Mhm.
Um, hence, like she's saying here, using the dreams of the people used to be my answer. But now she will proceed to be like, now it's up to
So
you.
let's play it.
Because
Let's
it
play
seems
it.
you're wise.
And now, you've also found your own answer, and I shall return.
Your own answer. Is she talking to Nahida?
Yes. This was very much the you have found your own answer, which my answer was taking the dreams from the people and using them to defend, but it seems I was wrong. Now, but you've already figured out your own answer.
So then
So
I guess we don't know. Just feel like if there was if her actually taking the dreams was the only way. We don't
yeah,
know.
it was the
We don't
conclusion
know.
she came to, I think.
Yeah. Even though she always thought dreaming was great. She always
Yeah.
thought. She says
But I think
how
it's
rad
because
they are.
I think it's because she thought they were so great that she thought that they could probably be the thing that saved them.
Mhm.
I that's what I think.
Yeah, and I should return all the dreams to the people. Okay, I suppose.
All the dreams to the people.
Junior-san!
Dunyazad.
We won't be done with her also. We're not done with her yet. There's a song I want to show you. Kale!
Goodbye. People have
Oh, I just saw Kale's VA. Oh, it's so sweet. I mean, I haven't
I
talked to her.
love Christina. I love
Oh,
Christina so much.
I just saw no. Oh my god! Only if they invited you to the Crewmeru. If freaking Alejandro's, if Sayu invited you to the crew, you really the Alejandro song?
I
The voice
I
of
know
song?
Alejandro. I know Alejandro. I know a lot of the cast actually.
So
Often enough, whenever
you are at least in spirit part of the Crewmeru.
I wouldn't be as close. Like, how do I put it? Like, I'm not like gonna be like if they invited me, I would be all over that. But at the same time, what they've got is like a good vibe. One person I'm actually very good friends with, and I respect him so much is Nazi. I
Oh,
love Nazi so
Nazi!
much.
Who
He
also
is
doesn't
so
actually play the
funny.
game. Also doesn't actually play the game, but yeah, no, he's great.
He a little bit like backlore. So I voiced in Smite, and he was actually my director for that way
He
back in a
directed
year.
you in Smite?
He did.
Wow. I
This was
mean,
like 2022, January.
yeah, when
So
you
like
played
it was a
Oni
year
Huntress
before all of
Artemis.
this happened.
You played Oni Artemis, right?
Yes, Oni Huntress Artemis.
Yes, yes. I, as you could see as like why I mean, I haven't played it in a while, but you can see why a person like me would like that game. Yes, it's great.
I mean, I wonder why.
I wonder why a game about mythology
Gods and
and
mythology. Yeah.
I am still more partial to League, but Smite is good.
Oh, gosh darn! I play way too much League. When I'm not playing, I don't play Genshin, but I play way too much League. League, and currently my hyperfixation is Monster Hunter.
That's what you said you were playing when we were messaging you. That's what. Yes. All right. Goodbye. Okay.
Sumeru, may you be blessed tonight with the sweetest of dreams.
I'm gonna make an acid. We're gonna make the wackiest ones possible for you. Okay, you go into a weird ass portal. You do this. No, what if like she gives the dreams, but she makes the weirdest ones possible? Why do I don't know why they came.
I remember seeing that, and like whenever I was first being shown the trailer, or like not the trailer, the cutscene, I remember I was like, oh, I'm in this cutscene twice.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
if only they had brought in like like if they'd brought in like
that is where she sleeps. Oh right, that's the last time you see her, right?
Yeah, I believe she comes in 3.3 or 3.4. But again, it was just the fact of she was sleeping again.
Oh, she was just still sleeping.
I do believe so. Yeah.
All right.
So like I haven't like to this day been brought back for Hypatia, but I wish I was. Again, I love.
Yeah, Junior Azad gets such follow up, and Hypatia does not. Clearly Junior Azad is the clearly favored NPC.
I know a lot of the fandom have certain ships with Dunya Zod, and I'm like, that's sweet. they're sweet.
No one ships with anyone with Hypatia. Oh.
Oh, I remember I would see fan reactions on like.
Why not I'll hate them? Why can't I'll hate them? Get you and I'll hate them get Hypatia. It would never happen. They're
That'll
just too different.
happen.
That will never happen.
Like,
I'll hate them
you know
with
what
anyone.
I find?
No, it's
so
obviously I'll hate them in Kave. It's the most obvious ship.
I don't know. I think a lot of people looked at this and were like, "Oh, we do you know what it is? I remember that's what it was. I used to get well, not me personally, but I noticed Hypatia got a lot of flack from the Scaramouche lovers because they were all like, that should have been me. And I'm like,
wait, what? Oh, to have. Oh no, that gets really dark.
Because especially whenever he was like, whenever he's like like this is my first follower. Essentially he puts so much stock into her, and then
so basically that's the closest ship we can get, and it's a hated ship. It's a created ship, but it's also a hated ship.
Very much so.
I mean, so Wanderer forgot, but unforgot. You know what? It's never too late to Wanderer, but it kind of just feels like people are put Wanderer and just Nahida too much together. So.
Oh, I enjoy the fandom, like their little like I love whenever I go on like Twitter and stuff like that, and I'll just see like like the little like fan comics and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I know.
And so it's like one of my favorites is like Wanderer going to school, and Nahida's like, here's your pack lunch, and it's like, it's funny to me.
There's another one that I saw like Nahida's still in pajamas, and Scaramouche comes in pajamas like, "Mommy, I'm gonna be late for school." What? It's like she's like, "You've stayed up too late playing with Shoki no Kami."
Exactly. I think that might be the one I'm thinking of. I don't know. I just remember like the pack lunch and everything.
No. The pack. I don't know. Yeah, no, but yeah, that's the one Japanese you got, and you didn't get to say it. You didn't get to say the Jap. There is Japanese in this, but too little. All right. So ChatGPT. So AI is ruining the voice acting industry right now, and this
Yes.
game predicted AI ruining the voice. Okay, maybe not the voice acting industry, but it predicted AI ruining our lives basically because I mean Nahida basically makes the point later on at the end of this quest when it's not required. You can ask her this question: What happened to the Akasha? Oh, it was great. It's great that we shut it off because so people can actually think for themselves now. But screw you, ChatGPT.
Yeah. It's I to be very honest, I know that like I hear so much of like how it's not great, and I'm still looking into the implications that will come with AI taking over. Obviously, I'm very much like, yeah, no, hire human actors because the quality of your product and the emotion and all like that will be brought by a human actor.
Mhm.
I'm very much that, and then also supporting my fellow like industry people.
Supporting your own career also.
Yeah, admittedly, yeah. Like,
Everyone's just also in it for themselves. Like, I
yeah,
want to
no, there's
play.
no point in denying it. Like, if AI takes over, I'm out of a job and I don't get to do what I love. You know, like
Exactly.
it sucks. Um, so like, I'm keeping an eye on it as it develops, but right now I'm kind of just I think right now I'm kind of more looking. Like with the thing with Sag Aftra and all like that, I don't appreciate what happened there. I don't like what happened there. Like, it was one like they made the decision on behalf of all of their members, and I did not.
We're talking about replica, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But at this moment, because I am not, because I'm outside of the states, it's first of all harder for me to get a SAG AFTRA membership right now. But second of all, I'm like not even sure if I'll ever move over there. Like, I really want to, but I'm not sure. So right now, like I don't feel I have as much of a voice in this one, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think for now, the best I can do and offer is to just kind of sit back and just watch, see how it unfolds, really, because
Mm-hmm.
there's very little, unfortunately, I can do in my current position.
Yeah, but I guess the interesting thing about it's like back to I guess the in-lore thing. So Rukkhadevata created a thing so the Akasha can answer any question you ask it. Well, not it's
Hmm.
clearly not any question. There's a lot of things that's hidden. That's why there's so much canned knowledge that has all this. But like this is such interesting concepts that it weirdly instead of Fontaine, which flat out has mechs, this story also there is an interesting thing with Tinari, well, it's not the actual pronunciation, but I thought it was just saying how they say it with Tainari and how and with people trying to make a robot crab and make it like real. So there is there, but it's not the forefront of. It's not the forefront that there are robots around. They're just rogue robots, as opposed to Fontaine like has robots. But the robots are never critiqued in Fontaine. They're critiqued here specifically with the creation of Scaramouche. Like
Hmm.
we're just gonna make a cyborg and worship it, which you can
Yeah.
see very telling about our current society, and then obviously a divine device that's created, a divine device that is ChatGPT can answer most of your questions, and obviously ChatGPT doesn't. More and more though seems to have an answer to your question, but it obviously won't have an answer that maybe if you were to go out and read it yourself, you would have gone yourself. Like sometimes it'll say, "Hey, I don't see connection." Well, what if you want to say you want to make a connection between these two things, and ChatGPT says there's no connection between these two things? And
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what Kasha says. Hey, give me this. Like clearly, um, back to Hypatia. Hypatia didn't just go and ask the Akasha for about the stars because there wasn't enough knowledge. So clearly there
Yeah.
is more knowledge. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah. So it's like speaking in absolutes, but at the same time, it doesn't give you the opportunity to explore and find, as you say, the answer for yourself. So, like, it's like, oh, these are the definitive answers from knowledge already previously given, but it does not account for knowledge that is currently being gathered or will be gathered in the future.
Yeah, but the interesting thing with Naziz's characters, Al Haytham's quest, there is an aftermath of people getting researchers get very lazy, and everyone's just like trying to huddle in to find the guy who like actually has a thing to say. Because I mean, this whole region is run by scholars.
Yeah.
It's like if Plato got his wet dream, basically.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. No, Hegel, or Kant. No, especially Kant got his wet dream. You got your philosopher king. Um, but basically, like so. Then now you have the scholars, but now no one can just ask and do quickly. Oh, no one can have like, Kasha write their essay anymore. So now everyone's
Yeah,
lazy.
it's kind of like the mix of ChatGPT and Google. Let's be blunt.
Yeah, no, it's not. I originally thought it was just Google, but then it's like, wait, no, my friend said, wait, no, this is ChatGPT. It's not just the internet; it's ChatGPT specifically. But it's like the mix, yeah. So what were you saying?
Uh, I don't remember.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What time are we at? Oh, okay. All right, all right. Let's do the fun song. This is not official, but it's with the Chinese VAs. So this
Okay.
is with your
Oh, I
your.
remember this.
Oh, you've seen it?
I have.
Well,
I
let's
remember I wanted to see if I could get like the guys who voice these characters to join me and like see if we could do it, but
make it happen. Make
it just
it
never
happen.
happened. It just never happened.
Yeah. Oh, come on. You need to get Kimberly and I don't know who voices Jimmy. So get Kimberly in the other
Oh,
verse.
Sarah?
Sarah,
Yeah.
Kimberly and Sarah to do it. Oh, because I know some of the other Genshin VAs have done English covers of the fan songs. Like
Yes, I love it.
especially Erica Harlacher, I think.
Oh, yeah, Erica's lovely, and she's like, yeah, she's so in for this like stuff. So yeah, I'm always about like,
and Brianna Knickerbocker especially. She does a Hutao fan song.
yes, Hutao, yes.
Chinese pronunciation, yay. All right. All right, let's go. Well, let's watch it again and break it down.
Okay.
我的破木上装满枯萎的花，放不下光与热和新鲜的愿望。如果能飞翔，去高高的地方，撒一张梦的网，收集爱的回响。
你在听吗？落单的孩子啊，别害怕，别害怕，黑夜不会太长。悬崖上的花，生活为你摘下，树一半，落一半，就少一朵忧伤。
绿草和沙里没有嘴巴，一定不会说谎话。 它们让风提醒我有道光，落在我的肩膀。
在回家的路上，洒满月光，点亮花蕊。是你吧，弹奏古老和弦，赶走梦魇，伴我入睡。是你吗，把头顶的雨水编织成蓝色的屋檐。约好了，当我们都长大，再次遇见，要比现在更美。
So what do you, it's the most Chinese. We're gonna play the whole thing, but that's the most. That feels so Chinese. Like specifically, like I mean, it's not traditional, but it's like it feels like just that pure Chinese children's choir, or like with the Aranara singing, and when we grow up,
Yeah.
we'll become better people because we dreamed. And actually, there's a little line I never caught about gravel and trees can't talk, but that means they'll never tell a lie, which feels like again back to that the truest wisdom is maybe the simplest. So this actually goes to I think I'm Jewish. The Passover. I mean, like I think I don't know if it's said, but like there's the four sons, and like there's the simple child asks the simple question. Like that simple question is treated as equally important to the wise child. So like
Yeah.
even the simple things, even the most intuitive things can be so profound.
Yeah,
It's
like
just-
no there's never a wrong question. I think that's I think that's the real true like saying. There's never a wrong question. There can usually only be a wrong answer. So.
yeah. Anything else about that? Or should we get to your part?
Uh,
You want to just get to your part?
I'm just enjoying this, honestly, because I'm very much, I love music, I love animation, and all like that, and I'm just trying to like take it in and see where it leads to.
Yeah.
Like sometimes my guilty pleasure is I'll just get lost in the music and just like brain just shuts off. It's like I'm happy.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm trying to like not shut off my brain and just like take it in.
1000个噩梦换1000个小偷，够不够？够不够？偷走你的难过，遇见那一刻，就导致了傻了。不必说，要铭刻，天长还是地久。
So I mean, this songs are all about I've never forgotten. So is this? I mean, obviously it's not official. I mean, it's adds the officialness that we got the
Yeah, because
VAs
if I'm
doing
right,
this,
this
but
is for like Hoyo Fair or
it's for
something
Hoyo
like
Fair too. Yes, for Hoyo Fair.
that. Yeah.
So, but I feel like if we take this as not just what it's saying, like I mean, obviously, you think Nahida is referring to this faint muscle memory she has of Rukkhadevata?
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's called I Never
don't know.
Forgotten.
I think part of her hasn't forgotten, but at the same time, as you say, it's like a muscle memory, or there's like a gap there. And like a bridge in the like a gap in the knowledge that is just difficult to bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could be referring to that. Maybe I'm not sure. I'm not
We'll
too
see.
sure.
都说长大后会忘记童话，清醒后会忘记梦。
I mean, that's why the sages said they were irrational. Like the dream. When we break up. Oh, forget fairy tales. Oh, video games. So let's get to the. I think that's like not just dreams, but like I mean, there's a whole. Nilu has a whole There's a philosophical debate on if art should exist, which it was very interesting to come out of Nilu's quest, but fitting, but weird, but fitting. So like, am I weird that I made a whole philosophical YouTube and podcast off of uh, video games, especially? I mean, even talking about things like Pokemon, like, oh, shouldn't we just grow up? Should we just stop playing video games? But clearly, we're not, and where there's valuable lessons to be told from these stories
Very
and from
much
these
so.
experiences.
Like if you think about it this way, there's the sense of video games allow adults to essentially re-experience and continue to experience like childhood or their little inner child, as we mentioned earlier. But also, video games are also a learning or like a way to
Experience.
pass on knowledge and experience to children and help not necessarily tell them how to grow up, but like it helps guide them.
I mean, the messages in video games, like when I was a child, I didn't fully understand what it was saying, but was more for us to grow up and realize, oh, that's what Pokemon Black and White was saying. Oh, that's what this game was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But at the
here's the
same time,
darkest stuff about Level Town. But there's always something
that
there.
little bit of you that always remembers too.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Yeah, and I mean, having played, I know there's a large part of Genshin's community are teenagers. Like for me, this all seems so mature. Like Genshin to me feels very mature. So like it's hard to see a teenager play this, but teenagers, I mean, maybe too, the Denchmen are growing up very fast. I mean, I think we grow, but like people are really growing up fast and like being exposed to the world right now, especially to things like of TikTok.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what. So honestly, it makes sense, but. I went into since Ben makes it public that the server literally calls it a swamp. Yeah, I got in touch with saw some teenagers and in Genshin, and yeah, the ones I met in other communities, great. Those interesting little bunch.
Yeah, like so I go to conventions and stuff. So like often enough, if someone comes to me talking about like Smite and all like that, it's just I love the gods and all like that. It's not usually too philosophical, ironically. But if someone comes to me and usually starts talking about Genshin, you always notice a lot of people have a lot to say about Genshin. Like they
Mhm.
always have because like do you know how do I put it? I was really like confused at first about like, oh, everybody seems to really what's the word? Like
Adore.
everyone there's that, but also like do you know what I hear a lot is like, "Oh, it really touched me. It meant a lot to me. It related to me a lot." And
Mm,
like, you know, if you got a project or a game or a movie or a show that can kind of touch a person that way, then to me, it always says that that effort was always worth the while.
yeah.
You know,
Mm.
because a lot of people question, oh, was it worth the while? Did I waste my time? Did I waste my energy?
All the time
No,
I put into this game. Oh my god. Especially the time I could have also instead sinking into Tears of the Kingdom, which I haven't at all.
don't start. I need to.
It's like I got Tears
But
of the Kingdom. It was like Tears of the Kingdom fans that don't like Genshin. You spent all that time in Genshin. Why? The other open world game that's clearly inferior. No, I'm sorry. Genshin is superior story because the story is so base. I don't care. Like Tears of the Kingdom's actual gameplay is better. This story is so good.
um, I think each of them have their pluses and each of them have their pros and cons. So
No, yeah, and it's more it's so great because Sumeru and Fontaine were so great. Like since until then, stories were great, but like the stories were just like god tier next level. That really puts it
yes,
above. Which
it
Tears of
felt
the
like
Kingdom is trying to make a
after.
good. Sorry, you go. No, sorry.
Oh no. I was gonna say it felt like with Sumeru after Sumeru, like Sumeru onwards, it just felt like they really gave a lot more depth to the story. So like it felt like up until then they were kind of making a structure. But then it felt like they started to really go in a direction then after that. So like they're really heavily now starting to develop into like the
Especially with the
Conria.
5 acts, because before there were only 3 acts to the main arc on Quest. Like there was an act 4 to Liyue with Shunha, which was which was
Mhm.
which was one of the best parts of Liyue. But it still wasn't the main arc on Quest. We've already defeated Child and stuff, who is now our bestie in Fontaine apparently. But and also some people would only say even only Fontaine was when the story got really good. But no, I mean, for me, the story was always good. Okay, after Mondstadt, but um, after Mondstadt, but like, yeah, some people just own. I think Marco. I'll say Marco Meepo said like I wasn't like there were great parts in Super, there were great parts in each part. But like Fontaine was like when I really got into. But no, me, I loved is like I don't care. I love the Act 2, which I know you don't really relate. You're not really in. But like there's a whole there's a whole quest that takes place inside a dream, a collective dream. Are
Mhm.
you familiar with it? To me, that was the most profound thing, and a lot of profound stuff happens. Especially again, that's when this concept of samsara is introduced, and I think I'd
Yeah.
actually like to pivot into that because Nahida, it says specifically that Rukkhadevata, Nahida is not just her child, but she still is Rukkhadevata. That's correct, right?
Yeah, it's like a reincarnation kind of deal, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
she
the
can
thing
grow to
that
see something even better.
yeah, there's that, but like, do you know what it is? It's like very much the yes, you came from me, but you are also your own person. And I think that is so important because, like, she's saying, like, you may become a better Archon than I because you're not going to experience the same things I did. So she's not going to experience Nahida is not going to experience like the Conria war and stuff like that, like Rukkhadevata did. And hopefully Nahida won't ever have to experience like the forbidden knowledge and the corruption of
That's the thing we hope for the most, yes.
yeah.
Or this thing's gonna
So
happen all
like
over again. We do not want to
like
see Nahida get blitzed. Like it was
so
enough with
like the
Rukkhadevata.
way it feels like it's a lot of like don't it's very much the passing of the mantle
Hmm.
and it's like oh don't you just try not to make the same mistakes I did. You will make mistakes, and that's okay, you know?
Isn't that just really that just is childbirth in a way? Like, but they just try
Mhm.
to. But it also is I mean, like obviously reincarnate like the reincarnations of Vishnu, very different. I don't know too much, but obviously they're very different people, and they're not meant to be at all the same person at all.
Yeah.
Which is the interesting thing.
Yeah,
But
cuz
also, yeah,
you
there you go.
have Nahida and she's nervous. She's always trying to live up to this expectation that everyone else has placed upon her. But then
Which then she gets thrown in the toilet because no one cares.
yeah, it's because oh, she doesn't live up to their expectations, so
She's
they're
just
like
a child.
so like I think they it's very much the case that they how do I put it? Like they don't give her a chance to sprout in her own way. They're trying to mold her.
And
And
that's very, I mean, it's very real. I mean, that's still
Mhm.
very, very real, especially to Asian societies. I mean, even though the weird thing is that this is the one weird thing with Sumeru is that they're supposed to be one half South Asia, one half Middle East, but they made basically everyone's names Middle Eastern, and they relegated all of the South Asians to there's one here and there that's South Asian named, but even like Nahida's real name is still Persian, which I mean great reference,
Mhm.
but then like oh yeah no oh you Indians you're just a bunch of fairy because like no the R they all have hit Sanskrit, Hindu, or whatever South Asian
Mhm.
names, but like it was a little weird, but outside of that I don't know why I just want to I feel like I had to get that out of me once, but it doesn't take away. I love Sumeru, but it's my and Rukkhadevata and Nahida to death. But yeah, what were you saying?
Um
Did I make you forget again?
oops. All right. Let's
Okay, so Nahida
yeah.
is accepting a part of herself. Let's get to that. Nahida basically is
Yes.
in a way is accepting a part of herself. This is actually I showed this to a friend, and he made this point. Like I never got to that. Oh yeah, she's in a way self acceptance because you think about reincarnation in a way of like a shadow, and you only like the shadow's a part
Yes.
you repress, and Nahida didn't really repress anything, but she just put it down. I mean, she wasn't allowed to walk
She
around
no,
at all.
she was always walking in Rukkhadevata's shadow, but
And
it
walking
felt like
and walking people's and just possessing people to ever walk around, which she never did until the actual plot of the story. But yeah, she wasn't even allowed to leave the sanctuary, which is obviously
mhm.
important. Yeah.
So it feels like that they finally like after this year, this was the moment now that she could finally step out of Rukkhadevata's shadow and just or rather it's really weird. It's like she stepped out of it or rather the shadow just disappeared. So, you know, it I think this was the only thing that griped me a bit was like they took away the shadow. So there wasn't even a sense of her more coming out of it herself. It was just like it was ripped off her and it was like it never was there to begin with.
So that's what I mean, that's what I think we all are worried about is like, is this the right answer still? Like, I mean, the whole point is she has to forget for the world to go forward, and the only one who can remember is specifically the traveler. And
Mhm.
some weird
Because he's
brain
not off the world.
some weird brain fuzz Scaramouche found out somehow. Um we still don't know how, but like he's Scaramouche. So Scaramouche. He just pulled a Bohemian Rhapsody. By the power of Bohemian Rhapsody, he found out. So Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, I didn't realize like in my comment on the video, like I wish I was never born. That line at the end of Palomia. I mean, yeah, that's obviously Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, oh yeah, Queen, another great gift from your nation, Queen.
I love. I do you know what my music is all over the place. Like I do obviously I know I love Queen, but like there's a lot of I'm all over this.
Okay, we should continue this song.
Yes.
We should continue. We haven't got to your part.
其实下过雨的
We'll get to it.
河
She'll come eventually.
会想和你重逢。
你吧，在回家的路上洒满月光，点亮花蕊。是你吧，赶走古老和弦，赶走梦魇，伴我入睡。
Here we go!
谁结局抽走我来？谁依然记得我未完成的心愿？
This is honestly kind of answering your gripe. Rukkhadevata is still in the nether realm of forgetfulness that never happens. Like, hey, remember me? Oh, right, you can't.
Whoops. Do you
And
know,
I
like,
did this.
to me, it's gonna be so interesting. If they ever do revisit the Conria War, like as in
I mean,
letting the
we're gonna
traveler
fight the
kind of.
abyss. We're gonna fight the abyss eventually. It's gonna happen.
I know, but like if they ever like have that flashback to it, I
So you
would.
get to voice someone there again, yes. Oh right, we would
I-
never, we couldn't because she never was there. Right.
Well, that
She was-
depends. That depends, doesn't it?
do we-
Because
well,
would it be a case of she would go visit it through Irminsul, or would it be like a time travel thing?
well,
because if it's a
again,
time
time
travel thing-
itself gets changed. Again, time itself has
it does-
changed.
I don't know. It's gonna be so weird, though, isn't it?
The only
is-
only way is that specifically the traveler could learn it.
Yes.
Because the traveler remembers. So, but again, the only way in which Scaramouche's memories are being able to be remembered is through a freaking prepackaged fairy tale, which Nahida did on autopilot to make. Like if she didn't make that weird fairy tale, okay, it was a weird thing about these two animals that was actually Scaramouche's life story, then he would have never remembered and faced his demons and awakened to his persona, which basically. I mean, he get his vision, but yeah, that was basically the closest thing we get to a persona awakening. It felt.
I know.
He awakens. He's like, I'm way more than Farina's. I know. Again, I love Farina's scene, but like, it just like, he's like, the vision comes down. I'm gonna face my. He literally faces himself. He literally faces himself. Okay. But yeah. Anything else about this line? Yeah, about my unfilled wish. So, has it been unfulfilled? Is it still unfulfilled? Is that still unfulfilled?
I guess we don't know. I
Don't-
genuinely. It's like, is it? Is it not? It feels like.
The sages are not perfect at all. Like Nahida's
No.
there, and there's a line like in Nilu's quest. Hey, we could just get Nahida to like stop this, but like no, instead we need a philosophical debate against Plato, against this not juniors, some person at the bazaar's father, which has a weird ending that ends it just ends like, I won't be your daughter anymore if you continue. Okay, I'll stop. So
Oh,
there
wait!
goes philosophy. Oh, now you remember.
Oh
what I'm
wait. No, I think okay. I don't know the quest. I haven't seen the quest itself, but it feels like I don't. I think. Oh my gosh, what's her name? She's
Yeah, we're
like,
talking about Nilu's quest. We're talking about Nilu's quest.
yeah.
Redhead.
I'm thi-
The redhead.
No, I know. I'm trying to think of the NPC, the daughter, because she was quite important in that, and I believe she was voiced by my friend Min. That was why I was
Oh.
like, yeah, because he's so sweet. I love Min so much.
Oh, wait, Dom Min? Is that Dom? Was she voiced by Dom Min?
No. Minton.
Minto. Wait, from Britain?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know you. I think
Yeah,
I think she was interviewed in VAU. Yeah.
That would make
Yeah.
sense if they were, yeah. Like, I love Min so much. He's so sweet.
Yes. That makes sense.
是你吗？头戴着环环，显着最纯净的
The
真
purest blanche.
是你吗？在某一天，我默默消失在春天的夜晚。可我呀，记得你的所有，我不会忘，在某一天，我们相散的夜晚。
There she is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's not canon, so
I know.
I mean, if you ever wanted to, even if we can't get the crew together, I mean, it would be. I don't want to put anything upon you, right? If you wanted to sing, Rukkadevata, I mean, it's very focused. It's
Listen,
very focused.
I've got a lot of clients waiting on songs right now, so I can't.
Yeah.
I've got a few friends that I've promised some singing to, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Because, like, I've been sick, like, the last month, and I'm like, and I refuse to sing.
Eventually, just to hear you sing
I
Rukkadevata as part of that, that would be amazing.
I would love to.
Yeah.
My voice is not it right now.
No, we'll ever see. But I mean, it would be the best, obviously, if the three of you actually got together to do it. But
Oh gosh,
whatever.
I'd love to. I'd love to. It's just there's a lot more into a cover than than just like singing it.
Yeah. All right. What else
But
do I
yes.
want to add? I mean, what time are we at? 20. Okay, an hour. I think it's probably enough time. Probably enough. But I mean, all right. Well, so any last things I want to? Oh, right. My question. I forgot. I have a question for every actor.
Okay.
I think we've gotten to the heart of what I'm getting at. But I'm gonna get it, and you've given me technically an answer with your dreaming. But I will ask: is there anything about acting that has changed you outside of the booth? And obviously, yes, I tried my thing. I'm nudging at for everyone is playfulness, but if there's anything else?
Um, it's hard to say because like I think acting just generally changed my life. Like I love as I said, I love acting. It is the biggest passion of my life. It is now admittedly, it's ruined some of my favorite things. Some of my favorite shows and video games from my childhood because like, you know, you're growing up and you never pay attention. And then once you get the actor ear on, you're like everything is like, "Oh.
They
Oh.
suck. They all suck. Is what you're saying?
Yeah."
They all suck. Everyone's terrible.
Like
Give. I want a juicy. What's the juicy example? What got ruined for you?
Oh.
If you don't want to give, it's fine.
I'm trying to think because it happened to me a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't as great as I remember." I don't remember now. My brain's just blanking right now, but I know it's happened to me a couple of
It
times.
got plucked from Irminsul. No. It got
Like genuinely, I think I've had like shows, and I was like, "Oh my god! Oh wait, that wasn't it. It wasn't as good as I remember." Sometimes it's the reverse. I've rewatched it and been like, "Actually, this is way better than I remember."
Because the actors were amazing, right? Like you appreciate the
Yeah.
acting.
The acting, and then like obviously, as you said, when you're older, you sometimes understand a story better too. So, yes. So yeah, but for the most part, everything. I just love what I do. I love everything about it. I love the people I meet, the people I work with. I love just getting the art, like the art of it, and all like that. Like, because I think one thing a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you enjoy like popularity and all like that?" And I'm like, that's not why I'm in it. It's not why I'm in it because the part that gets me like really excited is interacting with communities, but also the biggest part is like when I hop in that booth and get to play. I love just the art of it. It's just so much fun.
Would you say your philosophy towards acting is more the is it more method acting of just, or not method, but specifically just not thinking too much about how you're doing it, or do you overthink and you overanalyze every second
Bit of
of your
both.
acting?
Bit of
You
both.
do. Okay.
Because sometimes I have to tell myself to switch off the or to switch off the actor brain and go for director brain because for me they're two different things. As a
Mm,
director, I won't expect a level of perfection. I'll expect believability, fun, creativity, all
that's
like
the actor
that.
brain. Okay.
That's the director brain.
Oh,
That's what
that's
I
the.
look for as a director.
What do you
But as
recognize
an
as an
actor,
actor?
perfection. I want the perfect read.
Oh, so that's an interesting inversion. I feel like director brain, like when I think of director brain, I think about me self-directing myself and having, and like this is the thing that doesn't get fun.
No, because
The
I direct other actors for small projects. So like,
ah,
I sometimes have to go. Wait, Would I expect them to read this over and over and over as much as I'm expecting myself to read it? No. So be fair on myself.
Mm,
Be nice to myself and take what you would expect as a acceptable level from another actor. So,
yeah.
and like I do have high standards. Don't get me wrong. Even
And
of
it shows in your performances. So.
ah. But like I'll have those moments of like, huh, I shouldn't be looking for the perfect read because what you're looking for is something creative and different to stand out. So
All right. Let's well, we're probably gonna pass out soon. So
Muller.
let's just relax to the music of that plays in the
Are
cutscene.
you Riddles? I love that song. It's just
What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? What does it speak to you? The song itself, like the music.
I don't know. Like I'm very much so like so if I hear a song and I've watched a video with it, I'll associate in my brain like the video with it, and I could be in a car or on a train or something like that, and like the song comes on, I'll just start playing the scene throughout my head.
Hmm. And I feel like
So
for this series, because it fits so perfectly with the scene. Like it doesn't really work. I mean, it works on its own without the scene as well, but it
yeah,
just
because
it's
like
timed
it's
so
like
well with the speech. It's timed so well with the speech.
yeah, no, like honestly, it was just oh, I remember recording that cutscene like so much, and it was such a fond memory. I
That's
remember
kind of
like
see.
reading the script beforehand, and I was like, I know how I want to convey this. I know, I understand her intentions, and I really want to do my best to convey it and to show not just like her intentions, but her love for like the people, for Nahida, and like I just really wanted to let Rukkhadevata live in this, if that makes sense. So I remember, yeah, I knew before I went into that session how I wanted that last line to hit. I knew how I wanted to hit. So, sorry.
All right. Well, I think actually we'll leave it on. Um. Well, I think this was a magical night with Chloe Eves. This
Thank
was
you.
really you gave the best line ever. um, and they need more acknowledgement because Rukkhadevata is amazing
Thank
and
you.
Hypatia is great too. They're both great, but especially Rukkhadevata. But Hypatia is just what she says. What Hypatia says is important, but what
Yeah,
Rukkhadevata says, but Rukkhadevata embodies what she says. That's the whole point. Like it is
yeah.
her
Her
wisdom.
actions speak for it in a sense. So
Like Hypatia's confused. She's
Hypatia's
like,
learning. She's researching. Give her
yeah.
a chance.
All right. Anything last words you want to say?
Thank you again for bringing me along, and like it's been so much fun talking about this, and like honestly, like thank you to the community as well for like such the warm reception to everything, for just bringing me along on this journey, letting me experience just some of like like this has been one of the happiest, like just over a year now, like it's been one of the happiest I've had, just getting to meet people, getting to hear their stories, getting to hear like if like how these things have impacted them, what they love, and I just can't wait to continue. That's genuinely it. I love everything that this has brought, and I just cannot wait to see what else comes.
All right. This has been David Leibowitz with philosophy of vegan philosophy, and I know you can't say the line. Right? From what I know from Courtney, you can't say any of the Genshin lines, right? On script.
Yeah, well, we'll stick
I,
with
I
that.
but I'll say it. May you be blessed tonight with the sweetest of dreams. Good night, y'all. Been David Leibowitz, philosophy of vegan philosophy. Peace.